Streaming from Oklahoma's own digital studio, this is OU Football Update, brought to you by Brahms.
All right, hi, everybody. Welcome to another Oklahoma's own pod. We're previewing OU and Ole Miss coming up Saturday, one of the top games in all of college football. As always, we ask that if you are enjoying our 3 times a week OU podcast, please like and subscribe. It does us a world of good. I'm going to welcome in now one of the great voices in all of college football, David Kellum, play-by-play voice for the Ole Miss Rebels. 1989, am I right? Is that when you started?
I started, football and basketball in 89, started baseball in 78, but I was 18 years old. So even though I'm 66 now, I tell people I'm not that 85-year-old announcer yet.
No. Hey, sharp as a tack, folks.
Yeah.
Fantastic listen. If you're a Sooner fan and you're ever, on Sirius XM and you get a chance to catch the Ole Miss broadcast, highly recommend it. You still got Harry with you? Harry Harrison?
Harry Harrison, right. Yeah. He's a All-American for us. He still holds the record for most interceptions in a career. So we keep our fingers crossed every year that somebody will drop one late so he can hold that record. But, yeah, Harry does a great job. He played in the Archie Manning era a little bit then and has done a wonderful job for us too.
Well, you got a fantastic crew. It's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this game. It should be a good one. The Rebs come in 6-1, coming off a loss, but an incredible football game at Georgia. Just tell me your thoughts. It looked like Ole Miss had that one for a long time.
Toby, I've used all the typical announcer things. It looked like a boxing match. It was back and forth. It looked like a tennis match. And we scored, the first 5 possessions, touchdowns on the first 5 possessions of that game in Athens, which is phenomenal. I've been over there a lot of times where that wasn't happening. So we really did a good job offensively, but they did too. Georgia's fantastic on offense. We did technically hold them to a few field goals, but they were able to get it done. We just couldn't hold serve. In the fourth quarter, they sort of took that game over and got it done, as Kirby's teams have done a lot there in Athens. So we were a little bit disappointed the outcome because we played so good up until that point. But all in all, it was a heck of a football game. If you didn't care about either team, it was a great game to watch for sure.
Do you come out of that game, even in a loss, maybe a little buoyed by the fact, you go between the hedges and play them, like that. I know it's disappointing, but I don't think it was, certainly wasn't devastating in any way to the Ole Miss season.
Right. I think the program, Lane's got the program to the point now that there is disappointment on any loss. Just not too many years ago, you'd feel pretty good. Well, we played them pretty good, so we'll see how that projects down the road. I think they, got back and, looked at some things they need to clean up defensively. We didn't play very good defensively in the game, yet Georgia was phenomenal as well. So I think you have to measure kind of both sides of it. But all in all, I don't think great disappointment, but a learning opportunity. Still just had the one loss and try to push forward. These 2 games were really tough. When you look at the schedule at the beginning of the season, you see at Georgia, at Oklahoma back-to-back. That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Let's break down your roster a little bit. Trinidad Chambliss, really one of the great stories in all of college football this year, kind of came out of nowhere. Tell us about this young man, your quarterback. Yeah,
Trinidad, they found him from Ferris State. And they were really looking for some depth in the quarterback room. Austin Simmons is a fantastic quarterback, but there was thought, if he goes down, where are we after that? And so here you got an experienced D2 quarterback, won a national championship, dual threat quarterback. And so they got him out of the portal, brought him in. And we were watching him in camp, Toby, and we thought, hey, this kid's pretty good. He's a little undersized, and he's had some balls batted down because of that. But very mature, has played a ton of football. So when Austin did go down to the ankle injury, we thought, well, we're about to find out. And he has just been exceptional. So, it's really hard to project a D2 kid into our level. But, he's just stepped in and acted like it's no big deal. It makes you wonder about how do everybody miss out on him earlier. He didn't even start, I think, his first couple of years at Ferris State. So, but he's been fantastic. He makes all the reads. He's got a pretty good arm. Austin probably throws the deep ball a little bit better than him, but he's just been incredible. He's played very exceptionally for us.
What do you like most about him? Where has he excelled?
I think reading things. He only got 1 interception in this league. That's amazing to play 5 games, I think that's been good. So he doesn't force issues. Has been able to show a lot of his coaches like to say escapability. I mean, he's had some pressure in the pocket, not a lot. Our offensive line's done a really good job of protecting. And then you have to defend him from the run. And so that allows him to, maybe fake a run and pull up and hit our tight end, Dae'Quan Wright, or different people of that nature. But all in all, he's been great.
This is without a doubt the best offense, certainly the best passing game that Oklahoma has faced all year. In addition to Chambliss, what has made the Ole Miss offense so good?
I think we've gotten better in the running back room, a little bit more depth. Kewan Lacy, who came in from Missouri, we basically finished second on him out of high school, and Missouri got him, but he jumped in the portal, and so we get him the second year, which is amazing. And he's done great. Of course, they've got a great running back too, and so he was kind of in a log jam. I think that part of the portal works for kids. You and I have seen it in baseball and other sports too, where a guy may be stacked as a catcher and is a really good player, needs to go somewhere else, or whatever the case may be. So that's kind of Kewan's story. Eventually, I think he was going to be a star there too. But to get him, and he was top 3 in the nation in missed tackles, and so he's been a real breath of fresh air. We're always going to have receivers in Lane Kiffin's offense. So
yeah,
we ran a bunch out, we ran some more in, and so we're really in good shape there too, including Stribling, who was at Oklahoma State, and Deuce Alexander. Harrison's been good, and Caden Lee. We've got a room full of outstanding receivers, and maybe the best of the group is the tight end, Dae'Quan Wright.
Yeah, he's big time. That's an NFL player right there.
Yeah,
Dae'Quan
no
Wright.
question.
I want to ask you about the defense, but before we do, a quick word from our sponsors at Brahms. All right, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Talking to the great play-by-play voice of the Ole Miss Rebels, David Kellum. David, let's talk about the defense. You mentioned struggled a bit at Georgia, but Georgia's really good. What have you noticed out of them on that side of the ball this year?
I think that in a lot of areas we've gotten better. Defensive backfield, linebackers. The problem, if you want to call it a problem, we still have a really good defensive front, the first group. But if you remember, a year ago, we were what you guys are this year at Oklahoma. We had tremendous depth in the defensive front. We led the nation in sacks, pressures, all of those things. And J.J. Pegues and Jared Ivey and all those guys have moved on to the pros. But we've had probably, and I've been here a long time, as you know, we had probably the best quality depth we've ever had in the defensive front on that team a year ago. And so they were fresh at the end of the game. You saw in the Georgia game, we kind of wilted late. We've been on the field a lot of snaps. And we've got some good players there and some NFL-type players. And Xavier Harris obviously got a chance to go to the next level. Will Eccles, who we're going to visit with this week too in our pregame, is doing a fantastic job. But we don't have that second group. The second group is really young. We've not committed to give them a lot of snaps at this point. And so I think that's the main thing with the defense is the defensive front doesn't have quite as much depth as we had a season ago. But there's a lot of good pieces over there.
I want to ask you about your biggest concern for this game, and I'll just share mine while you think about it. Like I said, this is the best passing attack Oklahoma's faced. They face some good teams, but really not a developed passing game. And obviously with the wide receivers you guys present, it's kind of unknown what Oklahoma is in the secondary to some extent. What's the biggest concern for Ole Miss in your mind in this game?
I think Oklahoma's defense in general. I mean, this could be the best unit matchup of any game in the country this weekend when you think about Ole Miss's offense against Oklahoma's defense. I do my due diligence and watch all the games every weekend. I'll fast forward through the games. And so I've seen every game Oklahoma's played this, and the defense is just crazy good. Swarm to the ball. Coaches like to say motors. Well, they got a bunch of good motors in that defense. And so I'm hoping, as an Ole Miss fan, obviously, that the offensive line can hold them off. We've done a great job. I think we're second in the SEC in sacks allowed at only 7 total for the whole year. But Oklahoma's put a lot of pressure on a different group. We do have a quarterback that can be mobile, but I think that's the main thing. And you flip the other side, and it looks secondary, Oklahoma's offense against Ole Miss's defense, but there's not too much of a difference on that side either. I think it's just all in all, it's going to be a great matchup.
It's time to enjoy the sweet taste of Brahms Strawberry Shortcake Sundae. Our creamy vanilla ice cream is nestled on top of Brahms fresh-baked golden bundt cakes with spoonfuls of delicious strawberry topping all around, complete with fluffy whipped cream and a cherry. to create the perfect flavor combination. Strawberry goodness is waiting for you at Brahms.
Yeah, I do too. The Lane Kiffin offense and Brent Venables defense collide will be worth the price of admission.
And they've known each other forever, and I don't think there'll be any secrets. Coach Venables is going to know certain keys in Lane's offense, and Lane's been saying, boy, both of them in their press conferences past week were just bragging on the other coach. So it should be a great matchup between the two.
Just so you know, Coach Venables is right over here. He's been watching this whole thing. He's trying to see if he can see any signs from what you're giving us today to apply on Saturday. So that was a fun storyline this week with the whole sign stealing situation.
Change your signals, change your sign. You and I are baseball guys too. I mean, I don't get these football people get mad about that.
Yeah, always change your signs. Come on, mix it up a little bit.
Hide your signals. Don't have a lazy catcher. All of those things. The football people need to adapt.
That's exactly right. Okay, two quick off the field questions, and then we'll get you out of here. The Lane Kiffin to Florida storyline. Has that been a distraction at all this week?
I don't think so. You never know. I'm sure players sometimes get concerned when their coaches mention a lot. But the cool thing is, every year he's been here, we've had somebody that's popped up, and then another fan base wants him. And I think that's wonderful. If you've got a coach that nobody wants, then obviously you're probably not doing very well. And so I think that part is good. Lane is very comfortable at Ole Miss. Ole Miss has gotten to the point in the program in the athletic department that we can compete pretty much with anybody financially in keeping a coach, where there was a time where we could not in years past. But I think that won't be a money thing. It will be more of a comfort thing, I think, with Lane. So we'll see how that plays out. But I haven't sensed any, real panic by players or fans or anything with that. It's we've almost become accustomed to it. And other fan bases dealing with the same thing, across the country too. There's been a lot of people that have lost jobs. It's amazing. Yeah. And we've heard Coach Saban and what he's talked about, with the short leash and the portal and how he doesn't like it, different things of that nature. But I think Lane's now been 6 years at Ole Miss. He likes it here a lot. It'd be very difficult to make a move.
The other question is, the 9-game schedule was announced in the offseason, and the 3 annuals were announced. And I think it surprised everybody that Oklahoma and Ole Miss ended up being annual matchups with each other. I don't hate it at all. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I certainly don't mind seeing you as often as possible every year. But it was interesting because they've only played twice ever, 3 times after Saturday on the football field. What was your take on when you saw who the annual matchups were going to be, that Oklahoma was one of them?
Yeah, a little surprised, to be honest with you. But you love Oxford, I love Norman. So, hey, let's go for it. It's all about us, right?
That's right.
But no, I think it's a good deal. I think the conference did a really nice job of not, lining up the old Big 12 Southwest Conference people. Let's get a mix of the old SEC and the new SEC. And I think for Oklahoma to be a permanent is really good. We're one of the few schools that has dipped in that direction a little bit, even though we haven't played Oklahoma in football much. We have played a good bit in basketball. We played a good bit in baseball. We had played A&M before. We'd played Texas in regionals in baseball. And so we're that team that's kind of closer to those. Just like Arkansas. Arkansas came into the league a few years back. Ole Miss had played Arkansas more than any other team in the SEC when they entered. But for it to be a permanent, that's interesting. I think it'll be really, really good. And we've got to come back to Oklahoma next year. That part I don't like. But the following year, all the Oklahoma Sooners can come back to the Grove. So it's going to be good.
I'm just hoping it's not an 11 a.m. kick when we come back to your place so I can experience the Grove. It's hard to experience it dark outside at 6 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully they give us a night kick next time.
Yeah, we'll set you up in the Grove, and you can do the pregame show from the Grove.
Perfect. I like that. We're recording this, so that's locked in right there now.
Done deal. It'll happen.
2 or 3 biggest keys for the Rebels to win this game, and you're done.
I think protecting the quarterback, number one, being able to do that. We get the ball out in a hurry, one of the fastest offenses in the country. So I think that, that would be good. To flush the Georgia game, you kind of alluded to that. You got to that was the first loss of the year. You've been cruising along. Things have been going good. Had a big win over LSU earlier in the year. So you got to put that one behind you, get focused again for a really good Oklahoma team. I think those are the two main things. And then I'm hoping to see from a defensive standpoint for us, we've got to figure out a way to get a little bit more pressure, force some more turnovers. I mean, neither one of these teams have gotten a whole bunch of turnovers from the opposing offense. So I'd like to see that be a possibility too.
Fantastic. David Kellum, voice of the Rebels. David, thanks so much for your time today. Look forward to seeing you Saturday up in the press.
All right, Toby. We'll see you.
All right. And thanks to you folks for watching again. We'll see you on Monday with a recap of Oklahoma and Ole Miss.
Thank you for watching this Oklahoma Zone digital studio stream. Stay with News 9, online and on television anytime for the latest news, weather, and sports.